Anjali Sharma, what's your response to today's ruling?
I can't lie, I'm absolutely devastated and really angry. Angry that we had to take the Federal Environment Minister to court in the first place, angry that she appealed the initial ruling, angry that we lost. I'm really scared about the precedent that it sets and the fact that it might open the floodgates to more and more fossil fuel projects and millions of tonnes of carbon emissions. But what I can say is that this won't stop us in the fight for climate justice, and our lawyers will be reviewing the judgment, and no matter whether we decide to appeal or not, we'll be back.
You say you're worried that this will open the path to more coal production, but things are already going the opposite way in Australia. Australia's transitioning to renewables. Big companies are moving away from coal and gas.
That's very true, but the fact is that we're not doing it fast enough. We're up against an international backdrop where countries such as the UK and the US have set 50% emissions reductions targets for 2030 and other ambitious emissions reductions targets that Australia simply has refused to match. We're competing with a really weak 26 to 28% emissions reductions target by 2030, and we're up against the climate crisis, which is rapidly accelerating and is demanding real change.
But doesn't the government also have a duty of care to young people who could be affected by suddenly ending coal production? So, for example, young people who might face long-term unemployment in those regions and the associated mental health impacts of that. Young people who live around Gunnedah, the location of the project that's the subject of your court action.
Yeah, I think unemployment is a completely different issue, actually, and I think the fact that Australia is one of the sunniest, windiest countries means that we have so much potential to invest in renewable energy, stuff that other countries like the UK and the US are doing very successfully. I think that places in Gunnedah and in the Hunter Valley are actually some of the strongest communities fighting for climate action. I have contacts there who are very strongly opposed to what the government is planning there. I think that while there are so many families and so many people who rely on fossil fuel projects for much of their income and much of their livelihood, the fact remains that the government has the opportunity to invest in a just transition, meaning that they can reskill workers and really prepare them for a life in the renewable energy industry, which needs to be invested in so much more heavily than the fossil fuel industry, which is the complete opposite to what we're seeing right now.
What do you say to the suggestion that it's for parliaments and elected officials to determine climate policy, not the courts?
Well, they're not doing it. Like I said, where we took to Glasgow a 26 to 28% emissions reductions policy. Angus Taylor said that he was going to use this year's COP conference to promote fossil fuels. Like, what kind of country does that? While the UK and the US and so many other countries are stressing the need for really ambitious climate policy right now. Sure, it's their job, but the only reason that we're taking so much time off school and that we're doing stuff like this is because we feel like that job is not being done adequately. It's like, this is not a passion project. This is not something that I do on my day off from school like I do my sport and my music. This is something that I do because I feel like I have the need to, like I feel like I have the responsibility to.
Anjali Sharma, thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Leigh Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.